Hey, what's up? This is Jason Hook from Flat Black, and you're watching CMS TV.
CHRIS Akin Presents, and I, of course, am Chris Akin, and today on the show we are going to be playing some straight-up traditional metal. This band is absolutely killing it. They have a new album called Gods of Metal, Year of the Dragon. It is out on August the 23rd. The band is all for metal, and here's a guy that is all for metal. It is Antonio. Antonio, how are you, man?
Hi, thanks for the invitation. Hi, everyone. Yes, it's me. Thanks again for the invitation. I had a little bit of time. I'm really pleased to be here.
Yeah, well, you were showing me before we started. You are really enjoying yourself. Nice beachfront day in Spain. There's nothing wrong with that. I guess it's a relaxing day before you bring the metal to the masses, no?
Yeah, exactly. As I was saying before, next week we'll have a show here in Spain, Leyendas del Rock. So I decided to come a little bit earlier and have a little bit of nice time.
Right. I definitely hear you there.
Also because August is going to be a really tough month for all for metal. With, as you said before, we have the release and all the shows and events connected to that.
Right on. Well, people, I'll tell you this, Antonio, you should be excited about the release and, everything going on. This Gods of Metal, for people that haven't heard it yet, I mean, it's just straight up metal. It's no gimmick, no trendiness, just straight up old school killer metal. And man, the thing that comes away most for me listening to it is how fast it goes. You're listening to it and it's over, and it's like, wow, this. And then you look back, it's like almost an hour long. It's like, wow, this is this is great traditional metal, man. So why don't we start there? Talk a little bit about this record, which comes very quickly. You guys had another album a year ago, so talk about this album and and moving forward with your band.
Yeah, and this is exactly one of the turning points that we had after our debut album, Legends, which we finished almost, when was it? We released it in July last year. We've been finished the album around March 2023, and already back then we were already working on the second album, and at that point we found ourselves on a crossroad. So we could have just go on and decide to bring a Legends 2.0 as the second album, or just move on as a band, musically wise and also image wise, because as you might have noticed, All For Metal is a show band. We make a lot of show for us. Costumes and theatrical elements are always important next to the music. So we decided that we would have moved on from not just musically but concretely also
Right.
as an idea. So we brought our old full metal word in a far eastern land. So we were taking as inspiration some Asian elements, and we put them, we mixed with our style, with our fantasy style, and this is where our journey kept going. And
Right.
then this is what is going to be all for metal for the next years. So we're going to just move on, and we're just going to give to our fans and to the metal fans around the globe something to enjoy, something that entertains. And our next album, as you said, is straight on metal,
Right.
and it was way easier to write than compared to the first one, because the first one is always, the debut album is always the most difficult to write, because you have to find who you are, what you're gonna bring, what you wanna bring, who are you as an artist, and what are your goals,
Right.
and we learned from our mistakes and what were our strength points and our weak points from our debut album, and
Sure.
we were just trying to better
Mm-hmm.
everything, and this what came out. We decided to go faster, more metal, more power
Right.
compared to the first album. The first album was more hymn album with more heavy metal sound, but this album is more straightforward, and as you said, it just goes fast. It just goes fast from the beginning till the end. Is a journey that brings us to in a far eastern land, but
Sure.
it's not our last one.
Right on. Well, you know, for people that haven't heard the record yet, which is pretty much everybody, this record is tied a lot to ancient Japanese culture. And where I mean, is one of you guys in the band? Are you guys like fans of that, or historical fans of that, or did you have to research to write this? I mean, where does that element come from?
First of all, we are basically all of us. We are nerds, so we really like Dungeons and Dragons, all the Elder Rings, all this Skyrim world, all this fantasy world, Conan the Barbarian. We love Manowar.
Okay.
And my first video game, one of the video game that I played the most was Dynasty Warrior. I don't know if you know
Yeah.
it, but it's a video game about the ancient dynasty in China.
Sure.
And for me, and also for most of the band, the Asian culture was we were always fascinated by how it was how straight are with rules, and how perfectionist are with their art, with their way of doing things. Also, war armors, how detailed are were their armors back then compared to the Western culture and Western war stuff,
Sure.
war gears. And so we were trying, we were studying the
Okay.
culture, but then for us, since all for metal is not an historical band and it's not like a folk metal band, we are a fantasy band.
Right.
So since the beginning, me and Tetzel, we wear these armors for the show, which is basically we are naked on stage. So with these armors, you wouldn't go on a battle because you
Right.
would die immediately. And this is our fantasy world. So we just given homage to what we know about Asian and what we love about Asian, and but we still made our fantasy all for metal world. We just kept going on in this direction. But of course, we've been studying a lot of things. It was when I wrote the treatment and the script for the music video Year of the Dragon and Path of the Brave, which are going to be released next week, by the way.
Okay.
Path of the Brave,
Right.
our ballad, and Year of the Dragon, which is going to be our focus track. I've been starting writing the script for the music videos of these two songs already November last year.
Okay.
So there was a lot of brainstorming and studying around the music and the image of this Asian style that we wanted to have.
Sure. Well, and the thing is too is Japanese war, I guess, or ancient Japanese war is very popular right now in traditional culture. You know, movies like that Shogun series that
Yeah.
are out there and stuff. I mean, it's very much in the mix, which is probably perfect timing for you guys, you know, because there is such an interest in it.
Yeah. Ghost
For
of Tsushima.
yeah, right.
Uh,
Well,
the-
for you guys, is it comfortable to write about a period like that, or do you feel like that it eventually will limit you as a band on how you can grow?
we always try to do things that makes us happy.
Okay.
And first of all, as I said, we're really into this fantasy world that extends itself from Western culture to Asian culture and this topic. So we were trying to just get as many things that we think that entertain us as artists and as how can I say game gamers
Right.
users, and we were trying to bring that on the music and the music part and the video part. So
Right.
we just really hope that what made us happy is gonna make happy also a lot of metal fans around the globe.
Right on. Well, let's talk a little bit about the one video, Valkyries in the Sky. Talk a little bit about that video shoot and how you got Laura from Burning Witches involved with you.
Like always, it's a long way to organize the things, and I like to start building connections and the network. Always, when I have the chance, I just do it. So when last year, when we had the release of our album in this German big festival, metal festival called Rock Hearts,
Yeah, yeah.
I got to know that Burning Witches was playing on the same day,
Okay.
and back then we were looking for a female collaboration or for that's another collaboration for our album. And when I saw that they were playing, I was like, oh man, I have to meet her. I have to just talk to her a little bit. So I just brought my album, and backstage we just talked a little bit. I gave her as a present our album. It was the day of our release, the 7th of July. And
Right.
she was like, you know, guys, I saw you on stage and you're vibing with me. So we just exchanged number. And once we were working on the new record, I sent her what I thought would be a good match for her.
Sure.
And then everything fortunately worked out also with the music video. And it was also a special music video because we invited Tim Hansen from Induction,
Right.
another metal band, which is my bro. I'm trying always to involve him in everything I do, musically wise. And he just brought his guitar and his creativity. He wrote the solo, and he was also with us on the set for the music video. And it was our collaboration song. I'm a little bit sad because I thought it would have had a little bit more of resonance in the metal industry, but yeah. I mean, we are just super happy that we were able to collaborate with such artists.
Sure. And the thing is, too, is, you know, it's a tough time for any band, not just your band, but for any band. It's very tough to make noise right now, and it's probably not helping you guys right now that this comes right on the cusp of Wacken, where everybody is focused on Wacken. I mean, but it's a great video, and I love the fact that your band and Burning Witches, and there's several more like that, are going back to traditional metal. It's been a long time where we've had so many bands that are just kind of, trend jumping, I guess. For you guys, I mean, did you ever, when you were forming your band, did you ever think about trying to do a more modern approach, or is just traditional metal what is in your heart?
It's not a secret that we are homaging Manowar.
Right.
So, I mean, just you might have noticed just lightly.
Sure.
So for us, was our main goal was to bring a little bit back these heavy metal sounds, and when there's a chance, we always do that. But then naturally, we go, as you said, towards this faster mood and more power metal mood, because this is actually, and more melodic, because this is actually where the modern taste brings the music, the metal music nowadays. So we kind of feel the vibes, and not the trend, because then it sounds a little bit weird. But it's not that we follow trends, but then it's who we are. We are guys living in 2024, so we are just trying to accommodate ourselves how we feel. And since we're living in 2024, so we also feel like 2024
Right.
metal vibes. So it's like we cannot help it. We are not living in the 80s. So
Right on. I did want to ask you about one song about which is my favorite on the record, by the way, which is "The Way of the Samurai." I love the riff more than anything else. What a great song that is, man. Tell me a little bit about that one.
that came actually really spontaneous, because with our producer, we were working on something fast, and this is actually the fastest song that we have in our repertoire. And then it just came out, really easily, also because we wanted to have something still connected to the Asian world, but this time is more connected, then musically is more connected with the text, and of course talking about samurai and
Sure.
the Asian way of being a warrior. And it came out really spontaneously. I will say it like this. It was a song that it basically wrote itself.
Okay, very cool. Now, what you mentioned earlier about you have a lot of things coming up. As the release comes up, one thing I noticed that I did want to ask you about is the All for Metal cruise in Germany. That's that's very bold for a young band to have a cruise. That's a bold move, and I'd imagine not cheap. Talk a little bit about the idea for the cruise and putting it together, and kind of the risk that you would have to take to do this.
I mean, as I said before, I like to build a network.
Sure.
As best as I can. And since I live in Hamburg officially, I was able to also with my girlfriend, which is one of the two dancers, and also metal. We were able to get in contact with one of the boss of the ferry companies.
Okay.
In Hamburg. I don't know if you know more or less Hamburg, but Hamburg is a harbor city,
Right.
built on a big river that goes through the sea. So it's one of the biggest harbor in Europe. And it's fascinating because you can go through channels a little bit like Amsterdam or Venice, and there are a lot of ferry companies. So I was able to get into contact with one of these guys, and I explained how is of what is alpha metal and what could have been the outcome for him.
Sure.
And he was really happy to give it a chance, mostly for the friendship. And then actually it went so well that we sold out in a
Right.
month, the first month of the pre-sale. We sold out the first date, that he wanted to do a second date right after that. So
Right.
we opened up for a second date, and we basically almost sold out also the second date. And he was really overwhelmed by how good we sold. And we were we were confident that we would sold enough tickets to make it worth it for the ferry company and for us, for
Sure.
our investment. But we actually didn't expect almost two sold out shows as a headliner on our first year that we are on the road.
Right.
And these overwhelmed us, but we know that this is just the beginning of a successful path if we keep working on ourselves,
Right.
on our music, on our musical skills, and on our show. So it's a long way if we want to rock and roll, but we are on the right. We have the right mental approach to it.
Right. Well, it's funny just looking at it as an outsider. My first thought was, "Damn, even Metallica doesn't have a cruise." I was like, "Wow, that's pretty big, man." I have to imagine that the feedback you're getting from a lot of people is exactly what I'm feeling right now. Is like that is a big move for a very young band. No.
Yeah, but we had so far it paid off, and we are still organizing a couple of things. But it's gonna be amazing. It's
Right
gonna be
on.
amazing because I saw actually we struck a deal for a type of ferry, but then the owner of the company said, "Guys, you have to take the biggest that we have
Wow.
because otherwise they're not gonna fit everyone inside."
Right.
And so we're gonna have this the ship the ferry is called the Louisiana, as a homage to this big ferry, this big the 19th century American not South American, but like Orlando, this big ship with a big wheel behind.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hmm.
This is they build a big. They have one of this type, like of
Right.
course copied, and we're gonna have that one for
Excellent.
us.
It's going to be great.
So,
Well, the other thing that stuck out is touring with Lordy, and obviously
that's
they're
better.
huge. Obviously they're huge over there, and obviously it makes sense for you guys because they, like you, do the kind of the costuming as well. Talk a little bit about touring with them, and if that's intimidating for you, because they are so popular in Europe.
No, it was a great experience because of what we learned from it, and we actually played 38 shows in 7 weeks. So that was rock and roll. That was really rock and roll.
Right.
Um, we are grateful that we had this chance, and I really hope that they also like us to be on the road with them. We were trying to bring our best and always to deliver as much as possible. And I think as a support act, we left a sign around Europe. And I hope the best for them, and I really hope to meet them again on tour on festivals. So
Sure. Now, Antonio, let me ask you this about especially touring in Europe. I mean, as I mentioned a little bit ago, this is Wacken weekend, and obviously that is such a massive thing. And you guys are the perfect kind of band for that. Do you see that coming in your future, whether it's in the next year or 2 years or what have you? Because that would be such a great showcase for your band.
for you mean in USA or in
No,
Europe?
the in Europe, the Wacken
I,
Festival.
the, in the Wacken Festival.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, we played last year, so we every band hopes always to play on Wacken. Is the Holy Ground is one of is the best festival, metal
Right.
festival there's around in the world. And we don't I don't hide it, we don't hide it, we are working to play next year there. And if it's not gonna happen next year, for sure it's gonna happen in 2 years. But we are gonna be back there for
There you go.
sure
So you
as
played
soon
it
as
last
possible.
year?
Yes.
How crazy was it to walk out on that stage with 80 or 90,000 people in front of you?
Okay, it didn't happen actually like this, because I don't know if you heard, but last year was a catastrophe with the weather.
Oh, that's
And
right. Yeah.
and we were the first day, the band opening the festival.
Okay.
So they were waiting for us, and it was like a storm, rain and storm, and they delayed it. They couldn't. 20,000 people were left outside from the festival, and it was really muddy. People just slept in the mud for the first couple of days. And when we arrived, from the hotel to the Wacken field, it took us half an hour. But in the field, to get from the entrance of Wacken to the stage where we were playing, where we played with our gears, it took me 2 hours, and I'm not joking, because every road was just closed, and it was rainy, muddy. Then in the end, they postponed the opening, the door open, and we also postponed our show by half an hour. And then we started with All for Metal, because we started with the song All for Metal the whole time, just to make understand we are All for
Right.
Metal. And when the intro started, there were just the photographers and the PRs on the pit. But unfortunately, they opened the field exactly when we started playing. And after one song, there were 15,000 people watching us. And I'm not hiding it. I was super drunk, because I was like, this can't be our first Wacken, because it was like such a mess. I lost the soles of my shoes, of my boots there in Wacken. I have a picture, because when you step on the mud, it creates this like sucking
Right.
effect. And then I was stepping on the mud. I rose my foot, and just the sole left was there in the mud. And to get from the artist village to what, because after our show, I kept drinking, and then I was like, oh, I want to, at least, it was also the first time for me at Wacken, I wanted to watch a band, and I wanted to go and watch a Battle Beast.
Okay.
So from the artist village, I walked to Lauda stage, and it took me 45 minutes.
Wow.
Bro, 45 minutes to walk from the artist village, which is literally 200 meters.
Wow.
200 meters walk. It 45 fucking minutes. And then I watched 15 minutes. I was standing in the mud till my knee, and then I said, "Okay, guys, I go back where I can actually walk normally." So I went back to the artist village, because the artist village we were treated a little bit. It was well. How can I say? There was at least something where to walk on
Right.
without sinking in the mud.
Sure.
So then I stayed there, and I just kept drinking till it was time to go back to the hotel. But it was really successful, and I really hope that we can go back there soon.
Right on. Well, Antonio, this has been a lot of fun catching up with you. You do have this new album, Gods of Metal, Year of the Dragon. August 23rd is the date that it'll be out. And is the best place to keep up with you guys and to actually buy the record, not just stream it, but buy it, and tour dates and all that, is the best place your website?
Yes, we also have a shop in USA. so everything is not gonna be sent out from Europe.
Okay.
But since our label RPM has headquarter also in USA, you just follow our link in bio, and you can decide where to buy it. But even if you stream it, just share it with your friends, and this is for free, and it helps us a lot. And we have a big surprise for our fans all over the ocean, and we're gonna share it in a month. Be ready, because All for Metal is coming.
Very good. Well, one more time, it is All for Metal, Gods of Metal, Year of the Dragon, August the 23rd. And Antonio, thanks so much for joining me here on CHRIS Akin Presents.
Thanks again for the invitation. Rock on, it's All for Metal.
Sing hallelujah to the gods of metal. Hallelujah to the kings of steel. The time has come for the final battle. Hallelujah to the kings of steel. To the gods of metal. Hail, hail to the kings of steel. Hail, hail. Hail, hail to the gods of metal. Metal, metal.
This episode of the CMS Network is brought to you by our sponsor, Blackout Coffee. If you are a coffee lover, you will love what they are selling over at Blackout Coffee. Make sure you get yourself some. The only thing woke about this company is the drinker of the coffee, because it gives you quite a jolt. I am a personal fan of the Brutal Awakening Dark Roast, but everybody's a little bit different. Make sure you get what is your favorite today. Go to blackoutcoffee.com. Use the promo code CHRIA20 to save 20% on your first order. It's that simple. So one more time, blackoutcoffee.com. That is the link, or use the full link if you're going to shop around, that is scrolling on the bottom, and get yourself some of the best coffee that is out there today. Blackout Coffee.